Here we go. All right. So, jumping on into it. Champions and related card buffs. Varus does get buffed. He goes from target 8 allies to target 7+ allies, which is like, it's like good, right? It is a good buff. The one thing is like Varus decks are either like Pantheon Varus, which level Varus incredibly easy, or they're like the Varus Nami deck, who just don't target their allies. So I don't think this is going to make too much of a difference. Space Ghost Mafia, thank you so much for the 21 months. It's not going to make too much of a difference. Like, it is a buff, obviously, but this is not like insane or anything. The one big thing that, like, Varus's actual buff is that Seraphine got nerfed, right? Like, a lot of the Ionia stuff got nerfed, and that's really good for, like, Varus and, like, Pantheon stuff, because you don't have to worry too much about, like, Palm or Homecoming or whatever. You really don't have to worry about Homecoming much anymore, and we're going to get to why you don't have to worry about that in a little bit. Jinx, this is like actually scary for me. So Jinx hasn't been good for a long time, but this is like a huge buff. Jinx is level 2. Instead of making Super Mega Death Rocket when you empty your hand after she's leveled, she immediately makes the first Super Mega Death Rocket when she levels up, which is insane. Like, that's so strong. I wouldn't be surprised to see like some sort of Jinx like deck really come back. Was Jinx ever good back in the day? Yeah, Draven Jinx discard aggro was like the premier aggro deck for a really long time. Like most of the game. 8/7 is really solid because it makes the 8 spell now give you +2 attack. That's fair. That's fair. I mean, you're right. It is a buff. I just don't think it's like bonkers buff. You know what I'm saying? This, however, is a bonkers buff. This is such an insane ass buff. I don't know if it's gonna make Jinx super competitive or anything, but she is now like a very, very strong champion. So we're going to have to see. Withering Whale Stonks might go up again. Jax equipped allies have dealt 15 damage. Is now they only have to deal 12 to level up. This is good, honestly. Like, as much as I hated Vayne Jax just because like I don't like Vayne, Jax was easily like the worst part of that deck, right? Vayne was insane. Jax was like a strong 2-drop that turned on your like Weapon Master Matters cards, like Momentous Choice. That's about it. And now he's like a little better, and I think that's cool because I think he's kind of an interesting champion. But yeah, this is good. It's a small buff. That's fine. This, now Gwen can get like Frostbitten or Vengeanced or Stunned or whatever out of her level 2 Snip Snip, which is good for the Gwen players, and it is bad for me because that's what I would like to do. I'd like to freeze or bounce or stun or Vengeance Gwen, so sometimes you're like even okay with her leveling up because it's so much easier for you to take no damage, right? Like before, she'd be level 1 and you just, if she attacks, like you're going to take 2 basically, but then when she level up you could like stun her and then you would take 0. And this is more like a quality of life than anything else. Like, it's a big buff, but it's like a quality of life change, and it makes Gwen quite a bit stronger actually. Like, we might see like the Katarina Gwen kind of come back in a big way, especially because the other top players, you know, like Seraphine, Vayne stuff, like those decks got hit. Lee Sin, they got hit pretty hard, and so yeah, Gwen might be the real deal. All right, let's go over the big one. This is the big stuff, right? Seraphine got nerfed from you've played 6 new spells to 9 new spells. 9. And if that wasn't bad enough, the best Seraphine cards are like Ionian Tailstones and, well, like they're good Ionia cards, right? Because like I think Ionia Seraphine was like the best, and Ionian Tailstones was a really big part of that. And then also Whoosh was really, really good, and both of those got nerfed, and Fan Club President got nerfed, and Seraphine got hit with 3 axes, like, I think she's gone. I think she's gone. Like, you won't play a Seraphine deck anymore. If you play Seraphine, it's likely going to be in a barkeep bar, whatever, back alley bar deck, where you play 1 copy of Seraphine because it's just a 2 mana 1/4 that makes a spell. Right? Like, she's still a really good follower. She's just like not ever going to be the focal point of your deck ever again, I don't think. And that's like, I guess that's okay. I think this is a little heavy-handed, but I get that they're probably like really worried about her just absolutely taking over Worlds, because if they just bumped her up to like 8 and then maybe tweaked like Fan Club President, she'd still be really good. You would just have to play her in specific decks. Toby's Boss, thank you for the 19 months. RIP Seraphine. RIP my homie. Yep. So she got incredibly nerfed. Incredibly nerfed. So I think if you're going to play Seraphine, it's going to be a 1 of in a back alley bar deck. That's my like... That's my stuff. Patch goes live tomorrow. Fan Club President got hit as well. She went from 4 mana to 5 mana, which is honestly like super fair. This card was not okay. Same thing with Seraphine. Like, a lot of these nerfs are like good, but it sucks because it takes out like my favorite decks. So yeah, this is pretty brutal. You can absolutely still play Fan Club President at 5 mana. This is not like, this card is not gutted. You just like, this is still fine. Obviously it's much worse, because a 5 mana 2/2 is like poopy butthole, but you can definitely still play her. And I think you'll just see, she's not gonna be like an automatic, oh my god. Every time I monologue, I just yawn. She's fine. You're not going to slam 3 of them. You're sad that Akshan's Seraphine deck is dead with those nerfs? Yeah, they absolutely did not want that deck to be around. So, yeah, it's like, I would agree with that, Tyler. Fan Club President is playable. You don't think anything she goes with is playable. She's just like a value splash now, I think, which is fine. Kind of like Aloof Travelers, right? Up next is Tumble and Vayne. Tumble now costs 4. Thank God. Like, what was up with Tumble, man? That was like the stupidest shit I've ever seen. Vayne was a 3/4 for 3, which we've established is like big as fuck. And then she just like had a free rally every single turn. It's like a Cataclysm all the time. It was so dumb. And then like, for no fucking reason, it's like a Cataclysm plus, right? Because you get to equip something. Oh my God. I hated Vayne Rumble. The other Vayne decks are like fine. I didn't enjoy them, but like they're fine. But Vayne Rumble was like the dumbest deck, dude. It was like the most 0 skill hope I get their deck on the planet, and I hated it. How are you feeling about this patch? I'm gonna get into it later once we get through it, I think, how I feel about it. But yeah, I mean, this is still good. Good to see you streaming. Saw you didn't yesterday and concerned I gave you the Rona. Nah, I'm good. Congratulations again on taking 2nd in the calling, my man. So yeah, this now costs 4, which is good. It's still going to get ticked down, which is cool. And then leveled Vayne still makes it all the way to 0, which is dumb. She is now likely the best champion in the entire game. Yeah. I do not think any other champion is as good as Vayne. We'll see. But I'm pretty confident about that. Sly Blue, thank you for the 18 months. Yeah, 1.5 years. Thank you so much, man. Okay, let's move on. Vayne's busted. Irby says he thinks Worlds is either going to be won by a Vayne deck or an anti-Vayne lineup, and I agree. Even post-Tumble nerf. Okay, here's the thing. Vayne's floor is fucking insane. Like, Vayne is a 3/4 on turn 3 that gives you a 4 mana free attack. That is the worst Vayne could be. She's like, that's if she's dead on sight, right? She's still a 3/4 for 3 that gives you a 4 mana free attack that equips an equipment. That's insane. That's so good. Like, What the fuck? You know, free attacks like break Runeterra. Free anything break shit. And then like, yeah, that coming on a huge stat line that like has to be dealt with, or they just get more rallies every single turn is really good. You thought you were getting one more patch before Worlds? This is the Worlds patch. We have Worlds in like 9 days or something. I don't even know. Hold on. How many days do we have until Worlds? Worlds is on Saturday? Friday? I don't know. It's like it's like 9 days. Okay. Oh, ads? Damn, sorry, Twitch viewers. That sucks. Okay. So many ads? Oh, man. The new Twitch ad thing is really, really annoying. Okay. Lee Sin. Trying to wait for everybody to come back. Everybody back? Everybody back? The amount of ads they play actually has lowered view time by 30% overall on the platform. Yeah, it's nuts. It's insane. The whole ad thing is kind of ridiculous. Like, I signed up for the ad incentive thing because it makes it so there's no pre-roll ads. Plus, I get money. But what I didn't know is that it just auto runs ads. And that's kind of poopy. All right, everybody still back? Everybody back yet? Everybody back? Yeah, Yoast ads couldn't relate. Okay. All right. Lee Sin, the boy, 5 mana, 3/5 still, but now he needs to cast 10 spells. So this is like the super shitty part is they made so many nerfs like based on Ionian Tellstones. Like Seraphine got nerfed super hard because she has cards like Ionian Tellstone and stuff like that make her flip really easily. And same with Lee Sin. And then they nerfed Ionian Tellstones to make it so you can't do that anymore. It's so awful. Like, yeah, so they took all the spells matter champions and increased the amount of spells, and then they took the best spells matter spells and nerfed the fuck out of them. So now we just have like Lee Sin who like just doesn't work. He just doesn't work anymore. But Momentous still in the game? Yeah, but the card that you play with Momentous got nerfed, right? Like Hookmaster nerfed. Ionian Tellstones nerfed. Whoosh nerfed. Akshan nerfed. And they nerfed Lee Sin. Like, it's not like they nerfed all the supporting cards and then left Lee. They nerfed all of the supporting cards and then also nerfed Lee just to let him know they weren't sorry, man. They shot all his friends and then shot him too, and it was really mean. So Lee Sin is like basically dead. Basically dead. Finally, some anti-Ionia. Was the best Demacia champ to ever release not enough for you? We had to nerf all my favorite cards too. So yeah, Lee's dead. He's gone. Like I don't think you can make this work in the current format of Runeterra. Maybe later. Maybe when we get more stuff. Lee is fine. Okay. If you say so. We've watched Lee die twice now. Yeah, and it usually took a long time for him to come back. Like, this is also the first time I have ever said that Lee is dying, right? Like, they didn't hit Momentous? Yeah, they did. They nerfed Hookmaster to an 0-1. That hits Momentous. Like, you don't want to play Hookmaster anymore, which hurts Momentous. They nerfed, like, every single part of the deck. It's over 9 Bunny Man, thank you for these 6 months and the Prime, dude. So, like, yeah, it's just, they gave you Ahri skin to compensate. They gave me Ahri skin and then nerfed the Ahri deck, bro. It's rough out here. Spy Skin, thank you for the 2 months. Okay, so, yeah, Lee is gone. If something has to change for Lee to come back. He's really bad right now. He will not be played in competitive formats. Well, I do not think he will be a super good deck. Another reason is because the Akshan stuff got nerfed. Cooldown, the countdowns are now 9 each. So that's 2 more spells / turns to pop all the way down to Horde, which is sad. I've said Leah's Gone a few times, then I bring him to seasonals. No, I'd be like, you can't play him on ladder. But now, I don't even think you can play him in competitive. Yeah, it's just like, just dookie. Okay, so countdown's 9. This is fine, honestly. Like, this is not that big of a nerf to Akshan. It is a nerf, but it's like, it's okay. It gives people like a little bit more time to deal with him, which is honestly probably a good idea because people were flipping Akshan on like turn 3 or some shit. Like, it was stupid. Flipping Akshan on 4 was like pretty normal. This is definitely a fine nerf. Totally acceptable. Does suck because it hurts my boy again though. Swain is down to a 3/6. While we're happy with Swain's new overwhelm gameplay brought by his patch, we want to tap back his power and make blocking him or not a little less painful. Okay, I like that. Leveled Swain was like literally impossible to stop the effect. Not literally, but you get what I'm saying. Where like you're not playing a 3/5 on turn 4 or anything, unless you start playing Lecturing Roll again. But yeah, this was so hard to defend against. This is a little bit better. I like it because like Swain leveled on board. It was either like you dealt with him, like you killed him immediately, or he won the game. And now there's a little bit more play like on board around it, which I think is cool. I'm totally fine with this nerf. Ionian Tellstones. This is the nerf that hurts me the most, man. Oh my god. Ionian Tellstones. Health Pot is out of there. Health Pot was replaced by Ritual of Renewal. If you don't know what Ritual of Renewal does, it's like a 4 mana card now. Heal an ally or your Nexus 4, draw 1. That's not a good card. That's not a good card. Like, and then that's fine. Whatever. You know what? Health Pot on Ionian Tellstones, maybe too good. I totally get it. So like 3 mana, gain like 12 life, too good with Karma or Seraphine. I get it. However, Homecoming is now Gruesome Theater. Gruesome Theater, the 2 mana recall card. 2 mana fast, recall a unit with 3 or less health. Now, this is like an okay card, right? This is an okay card. But like some decks don't function without Homecoming on Tellstones, right? Like you're going to play Ari without this? Hell no. Ugh. You thought Tellstone's main goal was to deal with landmarks? It was. It was like one of your ways to deal with, just run Homecoming. The flexibility though. You ran like 5 copies of Homecoming too in Ari decks. You actually want like 5 to 6 copies of Homecoming. So yeah, this is brutal. While Tellstone's meant to be versatile tools for the regions, Ionia's version is covering too many bases too well. With this change, we're looking to maintain the core of the Tellstones while cutting back the raw power. And they did. To be fair, they accomplished what they set out to do. It just makes me very sad because I liked this card a lot. It's also like, I love any card that gives you like options. Like modular cards are really fun for me because it's basically 3 spells in 1 and I get to pick for a small price. And I think that's just like the coolest thing. Absolutely love that. So Ionian Tellstones, huge hit. Not saying Gruesome Theater is like a bad card because it's not. It's just, this sucks. This is brutal. And all I want to do is play Ari decks. And they just keep nerfing Ari decks, bro. The deck's not even close to being good. And they keep nerfing it. Shimon Wind goes from burst to focus speed. That makes sense. Honestly, that card was way too good. Shimon Wind was like fucking insane. Hey, at least you got a new Ari skin. You're right, Puff. I did get a new Ari skin. But I can't play it because Ari's so bad. And then they nerfed her. Ah! That's how I feel. I want to play her really bad. Really bad. I have the Ari cosplay in my closet right now that I still need to do. I want to play her. But, like, they nerfed her. What? This nerfs her. This, oh my god, this fucking is insane for her. Yeah, so big sad. However, this is Good nerf. This is a good nerf. Shimon Wind was way too good of a card. I totally get that. We can move on. I'm done crying about it. I'll start crying about it in like 5 more minutes. We'll try to get through the rest of it first. Relentless Pursuit goes from granted ally +1/+1 rally to just rally. Good. Rally cards are way too good. Way too good. Rally cards have like always been way too good. And then they got nerfed, and then they were still way too good. So yeah, they say it here. Demasia's 2 premier rally spells have been meta forces since before Garen learned how to use a sword. Like the thing about rallies is like it eats up like all of Demasia's power budget. You can't make like the majority of Demacia cards too good because rally makes them busted. And like you would splash Demacia just to splash rally, and I don't think that's healthy. That's like not what you want, right? So I'm happy to see rallies get nerfed. Also, I hate rally decks. This is like a known fact. Rally is a force multiplier. Isn't that exactly what they say here? No, it's not, but that's a good term for it. Is a good change for the game. Yeah, I think so. And then Aegis is now 5 mana instead of 4. Also good. This was like one of the best cards in the game forever. Happy to see it get nerfed as well. Then they can make Demacia cards better, like they do down here. We'll get to that. There's a new Demacia card, or a remake of a Demacia card, that's like really, really good. Okay. Curse of the Tomb is now 3 mana because of the like Absolver thing. That's fine, I guess. They just want to like... Yeah, it says, well, it hasn't crushed win rates yet. We want to preemptively increase the cost for long-term game health, and I think that's fine. I get that. There's like a lot of cards that need that, or that had to have that, right? Like Rummage, and stuff like that. They're cards that are just like, the effect is too powerful, even if it's not too powerful at the time. Like, it's just going to get better and better and better as the game goes on. And so perhaps there's something coming out or whatever, and they were like, this is kind of bullshit, and they just don't want it there. That's fine. Whatever. Saga Seek's a 1/1. Good. This card was dumb. It's still dumb, but like, now you can like try to Mystic Shot it, I guess, right? Good nerf. Thumbs up. Saga Seeker still good. Hookmaster goes to an 0/1. This is a good change as well. Hookmaster was one of the best cards in the game. You had to run it in like basically everything. And now, in order to run like Momentous Choice or whatever, or the other like Weapon Master cards, there's an actual deck building cost, right? Like splashing Hookmaster in your deck to run Momentous Choice was not a deck building cost before. Now it like actually is. So this is good. This is a good change. Also, sometimes they just like hit you for 4 on turn 2, and you're like, sick. That's dope. So that's like the main nerfs and stuff. Now we get into variety card buffs. Paparo the Great. Yeah, this is not great. 3 mana 2/2 play. I mean, it is good. It is. It's just like, do I really want to run it? Probably not. 3 mana 2/2 Yordle, play Manifest a Yordle, on attack grant Yordle allies +1/+0. I mean, that could be like really good if left alone. My plan is to just like shoot this, right? And that's everyone's plan. It's like, oh, a 2/2 on turn 3, cool. And like you have to attack with it, and then like you just get blocked. Yeah, I know. It says weird. It doesn't fit. Doesn't he summon? No, I'm pretty sure it's manifest and they mistyped it. If it summons, it's like busted. No shot, it just summons a random Yordle. Like 0% chance. I do not think that's correct. I think this is a typo. Because if it's summon a Yordle, it's the best card in the game. Like, right? It's be 2/2. Yeah, easy turn 3 Vandal Gunners. Yeah, you get the one with like quick attack with like impact 4 or whatever. Yeah, there's just no shot. It's definitely manifest now. Swole Scout, 3 cost 2/2. I like how they're doing redesigns, by the way. 3 cost 2/2. When I'm summoned, grant me +1/+1 for each Yordle ally. Okay. Yeah, I mean, it's like, what, on average going to be like a 5/5 or 4/4. So Vayne Quinn, the best deck. I don't know. Maybe. I haven't played in like 2 weeks, really. So I don't know. But I've heard that deck was pretty good. This card gets large. He does get swole, but with no keywords, not super into it. It's fine. Like, this card was never seeing play. Yordle Newbie, 1 cost 0/2. When you summon another Yordle, give me +2/+0. This card could get kind of nuts. Like, I don't really want to play it or anything, but like, this card could get kind of nuts. This card could get very big, very fast. Aegis Warren, thank you so much for the 8 months, man. Yeah, this is an interesting card. Okay, Shatter goes from 2 cost to 1 cost. It's a big buff for the card. They're really trying to like lean on the actual Frostbite part of Freljord. You know, now we have like the new 4 mana Frostbite. Yeah, obligatory Ash buff, of course. We now have Shatter to go along with it. And Rhinefang Wolf got buffed from a 3/2 to a 2/3, which is pretty good. It's like Slock at slow speed. Slock, lol. Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, but like the Frostbite can be just good. Like 1 mana slow Frostbite something is like pretty good. Yeah, and then Rhinefang goes to a 2/3. This is cool. This is honestly like a pretty good change. I have enjoyed playing Ash decks in the past that were like more Frostbite focused, and then they center around like the 6 mana Wolf that makes the 1 mana Overwhelm Wolf really big for every time you Frostbite. And these are like really, really, really good changes. Yeah, the worst part about this card is that it just got Mystic Shot. Actually, yeah, so now it's a 2/3, much more difficult to kill. Troll Scavenger went from a 1/3 to an 0/4, so now it will become a 3/4 if you behold an 8-cost card, which honestly is like huge. This was really big. Like really, really big. Like just think about now it gets Quietest. Oh my god. Yeah, I guess. People aren't going to play as many Quietest because Seraphine got nerfed. Like, okay, Trolls, so you're playing your game. On turn 2, you play your, I don't know, Akshan, right? It's like your literal best 2-drop on curve, and then your opponent just drops a 3/4 and attacks you, and you're like, what? Like, what do I do now? Like, this dude big. It's like really, really hard to trade with. Like, you're never positively trading into Troll Scavenger anytime before like turn 5, right? Because Freljord has Troll Chance and shit. So yeah, this is an insane buff. This is very large. I don't know if decks will be playing it, but like maybe they will. I don't think you play Troll Scavenger in the same decks that plays these. This is like a Feel the Rush rampy card, right? So that's interesting. Hex Obliterator goes from 5 damage to 6 damage. That's good. I actually thought that like Brady, thank you so much for the 20 months, man. How you doing? I'm actually glad of this change because I thought it was 6 damage every single time I took this card off Ferris Financier, and then realized it wasn't when I tried to cast it. So I was very sad. This is like, yeah, this is like, so now it lines up with what I expect it to do. So that's cool, I guess. I think Hex Obliterator is a good card. Like, you're not just gonna slam 2 copies in your decks or whatever, unless there's like a specific meta deck you're trying to like prey on. It does kill Harpy, yeah, with the tough equipment. That's big. And then Celestial Impact now heals your Nexus 3, and King Carl's is dropping a Prime. Thank you so much, man. Okay, healing 3 is good. Like, it really is. I mean, Withering Wail, that kind of stuff, right? But 7 mana Obliterate something is so much. Now it's a much better like Pharaoh's Financier card, but or like Flasher Brilliance or something. But I really don't think you want to be just putting this card in your deck, especially since like Sunburst is 5 mana. That card is like really good. This card is not it. All the like really good finishers that you want to obliterate for 7 mana, like, so the expensive finishers, they all have Spell Shield, or they're like hard to like, or they give your opponent value before you remove it, right? Like even like Ledros cuts your life in half and then you obliterate him. So it's, yeah, I don't know. I don't really want to do it. Conservatory goes from 12 to 11, so now it's just nerfed 1 instead of being nerfed 2. Cool. Like, happy to see this buff. I love Tibulk. I think Tibulk's the man. And I'm hoping to see some, like, Tibulk deck kind of rise up in the meta. I think that'd be really fun because it was one of my favorite decks when it was viable. Tibok Ezreal was an absolute blast. In Broadmain is now at 3-5. I will confess, I have never once cast this card. I get it, like, but I don't know. Especially because, like, Noxus is so good at just killing things already that you really don't need it. And then you don't really want to run it with Conservatory because Tibok's also 6 mana. And, like, if you play Tibok, your spells are usually just going to kill stuff anyway. So, yeah, I don't know about Broadmain here. I was never that big of a fan of the card. Every time my opponent played it, I was like, wow, it's really nice that they're playing, like, a 6 mana do nothing. So, I don't know. We'll see. Sign-in goes back to a 3-5. Good. Like, why did this happen in the first place? I mean, I know why, right? I know intellectually it was because Ken and Ezreal was really good when they made that patch. But, like, why? Why did you do that? Yeah, this is so funny. With other Ionia nerfs in the patch, we finally decided to revert this change. When asked for comment, right, I Am Walrus said, my bad. Good, yeah, good. Okay, and now we get to what I think is probably one of the best buffs / redesign of the patch. Laurent Duelist. At 2 mana, 2/2. On play, grant Challenger to an ally in hand. Yikers. Now, Laurent Duelist no longer has Challenger himself, right? But you can give something Challenger. With the nerfs to Demacia's rally cards, we want to make sure the region still maintains its appeal. We're buffing Duelist to give a little back by leaning into some of Demacia's other strengths, and we'll be keeping an eye on Region's health over time. Yeah, Sivir coming down with Challenger, or like, oh, he never had Challenger? What did he do then? Am I getting it mixed up with like a different card? He gave it for 1 turn. Oh, you're right. Yeah, this card was terrible. This card was terrible. Yeah, so now he grants an ally. Yeah, you can give Siobhan a Challenger. You could give, I don't know, Udi a Challenger, but you don't want to play Demacia Freljord. That sounds bad. Sivir, right? Like this card, Poppy, yeah, Renekton, whatever. Good stuff. Jarvan. This guy's good. This is a strong card, I think. Iboros no longer dies when you hush it. Good? Like, why was that a thing? Why did they think that was, like, fine? Right? They're just like, you know what? We're gonna have this 9 mana guy, but if you, like, Equinox it, it just explodes. What about that? What if you do that? Yeah, so, glad that's changed. And then it says... Plus, we think making him a 30-30 instead of a 29-29 is just what he needs to push him over the top. Agreed. Absolutely agreed. Safety Inspector goes down to 5 mana. I still don't really want to play this, but okay. Escaped Abomination goes from a 4-2 to a 3-3. This is a pretty big buff. It's not a 4-3, and like, thank God. That was so dumb. But yeah, this is a good buff. I think Escaped Abomination is a cool card. Glad to see it kind of return. It's much harder to trade with a 3-3 than it is a 4-2. It was a 4-4 back in the day. Oh my God, that's right. Yeah, what a stupid card. 3-3's good. It's not insane or anything, but it's a lot easier to like kill your own stuff now for value. So I definitely like it not being a 4-3. That was like, the people who wanted it as a 4-3 don't remember like 1 mana 1/2 fearsome slay guy into Curse Keeper into Butcher on turn like 2, and you just take 9. It was so dumb. You just take 9 and you couldn't trade with the big one. You couldn't Mystic Shot it. You couldn't do anything like that. So stupid. I hated every moment of that. Okay, Bone Club. Now 5/5. I didn't know this was a card. Gonna be honest. Now it's a bigger card that I still won't play. So that's cool, I guess. Moving on. Shadowblade Fanatic. 3 mana, goes from a 3-2 to a 3/3. This is like a large buff for a card. Going from a 3/2 to a 3/3 is a really big deal because you can't get Mystic Shot anymore. Especially with like quick attack stuff because it's so hard to defend against them normally. However, like I don't know if it's worth it. Especially with like Hookmaster getting nerfed because then Ionia doesn't have like the free. Ionia doesn't have the free Weapon Master splash anymore. So yeah, this is just 3/3 Draven. Kind of. Yeah, kind of. Except you just get one thing, and one of Draven's main appeals though was that you had the axe in hand, and it made combat really awkward forever, right? Because like you had to block things with like 2 more health, or you just lose them. It was a nice threat. This doesn't quite have that, but a 4/3, you know, ephemeral is good, whatever. But Hookmaster getting nerfed makes me think I'm not going to ever play this. We'll see. Maybe I'm wrong. Wrathful Rider goes from a 7/3 to an 8/3. I'm still not playing this card. Woo! Moving on. Gorlith, 0/10 to 0/12. I'm still not playing this card. Woo! Moving on. Dusk Rider, 5 cost 3/5 to a 4 cost 3/4. You know what buff this is, actually? This is actually a good buff, but it's not to Dusk Rider. This is a good buff to Unspeakable Horror. You know what I mean? Because every time you cast Unspeakable Horror and you get Dusk Rider, you're like, God damn it. But now it's like way easier to cast. So that's pretty cool, I guess. This is like an actual decent card. I don't know. We'll see. I don't think people are going to like be playing it. Right? If you're playing like a full Nightfall deck, you want Nocturne. If you're not, if you're playing like halvesies, then you don't want Dusk Rider at all. Especially if you're playing like the Celesbians deck. So, I don't know about that. All right, let's look at Reaver's Row. I see a lot of you talking about Reaver's Row. I know Akedo played like the Reaver's Row Talia deck for a bit. I have not really played since that was like a thing. I haven't played for like a week and a half, 2 weeks really. So I haven't seen it in action, but I know people were like playing this when it was 5 and it was kind of doing cool things. And now it's 4, which is big. So Reaver's Row is when I count down, summon a random 1-cost follower. Countdown 2, grant 1-cost allies, +2/+1, and Fearsome. Play it now. We'll play it after this. I have 2 things I want to try out. So if you play it on 4 and you're attacking on 6, that means on 6, all your 1-cost allies get +2/+1 and Fearsome, and then you open attack, which is cool. What 1-cost do you play with it? You play like the Fearsome guy that slays. You play monkeys? Oh, it's just monkeys? Or you play Talia, you copy it. Yeah, no, I understand that. So do you play like Clockling and stuff? Like the landmark that like makes Clockling? The 3/3, 2/1 predictor. Okay, yeah. The predictor 2/1 seems pretty good. Can you send me a list, MTuck? And then we're gonna move on, but excited to try this. Spirits Unleashed. This is a big change. So it's now grant +1/+1 to allies everywhere. So it's not just like your allies on board, it's the allies in your hand, it's the allies in your deck. It's actually like pretty decent. Now I don't know if what Freljord needed was more stats, but it got them. It's also created, yeah, it's all of them, everything, which is really good. So yeah, Udyr now has a champ spell that doesn't absolutely suck, which is cool for him. You know, we buffed him 4 times, now maybe he doesn't suck. And it's a fan club buff, sure. It got a little compensation buff. So yeah, this is a pretty big buff. Rot Colossus. This I think is cool. So Rot Colossus 8 mana 8/8 Overwhelm. I don't fault you for not knowing what this card does. What it used to be is the first time I'm equipped, create a copy of me in hand, right? Granted, it's equipment stats, and it was cool. I played it like I created it once of something, and I played it, and I was like, "Oh, this is a cool card." Now the copy is 4 cost, which makes this like a real finisher, right? because you play Rock Colossus, you equip it with some like a 2/1, right? Just like a random 2/1 equipment. And then you get a 4 mana 10/9 Overwhelm in hand. You have to play it. But that's a big ass boy. So we'll see. We'll see if this finds its way into any deck, because I think it's pretty cool. Darkened Ballista is now just a vanilla 1-cost Noxus +2/+0 equipment. Cool. That's fine. Pathless Ancient, small buff, costs 2 less for each unit recalled this round, instead of just if you recall it, costs 2 less. That's cool, except they removed Homecoming from Tellstones, so you don't really get to utilize this, which is very sad. Void Seeker says can now hit champions after you've evolved. That's cool, because I think Void Seeker's kind of a cool card, honestly. I like it. I don't know if you're going to play it, but I think it's cool, so thumbs up for that, I guess. Bandle Tellstones, loses Keeper Verdict, and gains Electro Harpoon. I saw a lot of people like not happy for this. I think this is a really good change. Xeonian Tellstone's dead? It's not dead, but it got hugely nerfed. Like, 1 mana, deal 1 to champions. Doesn't sound insane. Well, it's 1 mana, deal 3 to champions. You just have to evolve first. Yeah, Electro Harpoon is a good card. Like, Bandle City often, with the way Bandle works, like, you really want a little bit of burn. Because you're, like, swarming and stuff, and then, you know, you're trying to put them in, like, Pokey Stick plus burn range or whatever. And now you can just take Electro Harpoon. Like, you have more looks for Electro Harpoon and, like, Conchologist, and I think that's like, actually quite good for Bandle City. But some people are upset, some people are happy. I don't know. I think it's probably a good... I think it's much better than having Keeper's Verdict at the Tellstone. Like, much better. But whatever. I don't know. We'll see. Then the most important part, Ari got a new champ skin. Obviously the most important part. No new level up animation. Big sad. The level up animations come from the updated ones on Pike and Echo. And that is the whole patch. So let's talk about how I feel about it. So, this is the picture, right? Most of the nerfs, I agree with. Almost every single one of them. Even if I don't like them, right? Like, I think the style of decks that I enjoy were a little overly nerfed. I think they were a little too scared of Seraphine. I think they were a little too scared of Seraphine and maybe not quite scared enough of Vayne. But we'll see. Even the Rally nerfs? Yeah, man, fuck Rally. All my homies hate Rally. Rally's been, like, too good for a while. Like, Aegis specifically? Yeah. Don't think it's possible to be too scared of Seraphine? I think it is. When you nerf Seraphine really hard, and then you also nerfed everything she plays, like, that's probably a little too much. Aikato's the only one over here standing 4-mana rallies. Yeah, 4-mana rallies, like, it's just really good. Like, especially now that Demacia also has Vayne, it's like, do they really just need to have, like, 2 rallies, like, every turn? Vayne Seraphine nerfs feel more based on community impact than how strong the cards actually are. I get you, but, like, Vayne and Seraphine were the 2 best champs in the game, right? Like, I think they went overboard on Seraphine nerfs. Not just the card Seraphine, but, like, all of it, right? Fan Club President needed to get nerfed. Seraphine needed to get nerfed. Maybe not that hard. I thought she was going to go to 8, not 9. 9's, like, insane. Especially because they're nerfing the best cards she plays with, right? Like, Whoosh is one of the best ones because she's Ionia. Tellstones, right? Like, all that kind of stuff. Sarah too hard, Vayne too soft. That's what I'm thinking. But whatever. Swain nerf good. A little bit of Pantheon nerf, right? With, like, the Auction stuff, Saga Seeker. Lee Sin got hit, like, 8 different times, which is just brutal for the boy. Sign-in buff doesn't do anything. Laurent Duelist does. Happy to see Conservatory come back. Jax is a little bit cooler now. Yeah. None of the others look like super insane. I mean, we'll see. Sensational did a video already and was saying Vayne was support for other concepts and Seraphine got supported by other things. So that might be related. Maybe, except like Vayne by herself is nuts. Right? Like Vayne period is nuts. Like just straight up, dead ass. Vayne like kind of busted. For no reason. Alright, let's see this Talia deck.